There's news that's out of Cleveland ahead of the RNC. Some of the local constabulary there in Cleveland had asked for a temporary suspension of the open carry laws in Ohio during the RNC. So let me get this straight. Democrats sow a cancerous anti-cop sentiment in the country over the last 8 years. And now it's up to the people to give up their rights to make up for it so that cops can be safe. I understand. Let me talk about this and many other things with Edwin Walker. Native Texan, earned his bachelor's degree and law degrees at University of Houston. He's a licensed attorney for 23 years, partner with Walker and Byington program attorneys for the U.S. Law Shield and Texas Law Shield, a legal services company devoted to firearms law. Law practice concentrates on firearms and self-defense issues across the state of Texas and the United States. Edwin is the co-author of the book, Texas Gun Law, Armed and Educated. Welcome back to the Salcedo Show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, your reaction to the request. By the way, the governor's office said, sorry, we can't suspend a law simply because you asked us to, whether you're the constabulary or not. What's your reaction to this?
Well, it does seem pretty alarmist for them to request this, but it kind of is predictable in a way. I mean, as we saw here last year with the Texas open carry movement, people get freaked out by it. There's a lot of exaggeration. There's a lot of hyperbole that goes along in talking about open carry. Of course, folks who are anti-Second Amendment have always been against open carry, even though it's been the law of the land much longer than it has been outlawed. And Ohio is one of those states. And Ohio has a long tradition of accepting open carry. And the thing about it is that we've seen many events take place in Ohio with no problem with open carry at all. In fact, the Cleveland Cavaliers just won the NBA championship. They had their parades, they had their celebrations, open carry perfectly legal, no issues whatsoever. And so, I know that the issues with Baton Rouge this weekend and Dallas last weekend have caused the police to say, it's better if we have the authority to not say anybody has a gun visible. That will make us much safer. But it's just alarmist and reactionary. And fortunately, Ohio has a, good, solid Republican executive who said, sorry, I can't do that. Now, the thing is that if it would have been a state with a Democratic executive, and we've seen that they, if they follow by the example that Obama has produced, that the executive has all power to do whatever he wants at any time, I'm quite certain that they would have said, oh, yeah, executive, whatever we want to decide, that's the law. We don't care what the statute says, what the Constitution says. We'll go ahead and do this for you.
Yeah, now, on a practical level, we can understand the angst of police officers, courtesy of liberal rhetoric and liberal extremism perpetuated largely by Democrats around this country the last 8 years. We are now in this situation where it's open season on cops. Black Lives Matter is invited to the White House, given legitimacy. Their claims are completely false, but they are given legitimacy by Democrat lawmakers for, my reasoning is, for electoral advantage. So you can understand why the police officers have a good deal of angst. But at the same time, the solution in my mind has never been suspension of the rule of law.
No, of course not. That shouldn't be the answer. Obviously, I think that also, we appreciate police officers, and we know that they have a tough time. And certainly the last two events in Baton Rouge and Dallas have fully illustrated that they're being targeted just for the fact that they are police officers. But then there's the broader philosophical issue of, will we allow basically the suspension of civil liberties and the imposition of a state of emergency just based upon the whim of a particular group?
Now, what about? Hold on, Edwin. I hate to interrupt you, but what about individuals who will be there exercising their Second Amendment rights under the law in Ohio, carrying long guns, which is and open carrying, in support of police, in support of law and order, and in support of their right to do so? Would there be a recommendation you might have that they maybe check in with police, say, hey, howdy, we're here. We're not we're not part of the Black Lives Matter anarchists. We're not part of the Black Lives Matter folks who want to target police, who pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. What do we want? Dead cops right now. That's the Black Lives Matter mantra. Would that be one way of letting the police officers know which group you are siding with?
Well, I certainly think that wearing clothing with messages on it will give police an idea where you stand. You may want to notify them, obviously, for your own safety. If you're an individual who's openly carrying a firearm, you want to make sure that you always have carried it, are carrying it in a safe manner. Pistols should be worn in belt or shoulder holsters. Long guns, generally strapped across, the back, not held in a low ready or high ready position. Don't ever give the police officer an opportunity to mistake you for an active shooter. And his defense would be, of course, he had a weapon. That weapon, I felt that I was in fear by the way he was holding it. Mm-hmm. So context is all important in this. And of course, the police may be suspicious. They may think that, people who are targeting them have become so sophisticated that they will then disguise themselves as law-abiding open carriers, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to shoot. So,
and Edwin, I think
it's an endeavor that's not without risk.
Yeah, and I think that the law-abiding open carry gun owners are not going to put themselves in that type of situation anyway. Only the folks that will go down to that RNC trying to inspire chaos, I think by and large, will be the ones who will be exploiting that. And the police officers know the profile of who those people are.
Yes, that's true. And like I said, each person, I think that people just need to act with common sense. There are times that people say, well, if you don't exercise your rights, you'll lose them. And that's entirely true. I absolutely agree with that. But like I said, your most important objective is to always make sure that you are safe. Don't get shot by a bad guy, but don't get shot by a good guy either, thinking you're a bad guy.
True. Edwin Walker, everybody. Texas Gun Law, Armed and Educated is the name of the book. He's with Texas Law Shield and U.S. Law Shield. Always appreciate the time and expertise, sir.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
You betcha.